Hello, everyone. Welcome to the office hours. And what I want to get started with is, first of all, the what do we call it now? The Fast Cash Boot Camp. I like Super Saturday. It's before the Super Bowl. It worked, but Aiden is much better at these sort of really cool sales, catchy sales names than I. So, Fast Cash Boot Camp in the 123 Profit members area under the registration and updates. Okay. You can see we're going to do it in two parts, like I mentioned yesterday. This will be a chance to go over my shoulder, watch me pick offers live, get into my mindset, where I'm not getting stuck on every last little detail. We're going to pick an offer. We're going to do some keyword research. We're going to build some pages. We're going to get some ads started. We're going to answer a lot of questions. I don't know how long it'll take: 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 9 hours, not 9 hours, but we'll go as long as it takes. Okay. So it'll be recorded. There'll be a replay. I've been told that Zoom can record unlimited amounts. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Make sure you are registered for the Accountability and Mindset Friday. Make sure you're registered for the webinar tomorrow, which is at 1 p.m. Eastern. And again, just always check the registration. You just have to update, register for every new session. It's just the way it works. Okay. There's no way to do it. So you register for all. And then under announcements, I was told that there are some announcements somewhere in here. If you didn't get the email yesterday, announcements, okay, dashboard announcements right here, right under the logo, kind of close to the middle of the screen. You see this massive announcement. Okay, you can read about all the cool stuff that is rolling out. Okay, so if you didn't get the email yesterday, if you don't get our emails, we usually send them out on Mondays or Tuesdays, something around that time. So always check the announcements. If you didn't get an email by like Tuesday afternoon, come to the announcements, check it out. It'll always be here. Okay. Sorry, I have this lingering cough from, I was a little worried because I had no voice whatsoever Friday, Saturday. I've never had that happen before. And then it started to come back Sunday, and now it's kind of back to normal. I'm still feeling a little bit of struggle here, but I have this nagging cough that I just deal with. So if I cough, sorry. What else was going to get at here? Oh yeah, the forum. Any success stories you have, any motivation, whatever, use the forum. Okay, it's here. There's some threads set up. You should all be registered by now. Go in. Any sort of success you've had, post it up, whether that's just starting your ads, getting a page up, whatever. We want to help you guys out. We want to see you share your success stories. So come in here, ask questions, use that for help. Okay. And the other thing was float funnels. I had the refresh thing fixed yesterday. I talked to the tech guys, and I guess they just misunderstood when I asked them. Anyways, they just misunderstood something. So again, okay, cool. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm never going to do this. We're just going to take a quick pause, okay? I have somebody doing some work here. I just got to check it out. I know it's weird, but we'll cut this out of the replay, but let me just come right back, okay? I promise. Sorry about that. Perfect.
And the pieces I lifted with you.
Okay. That's actually pretty good, just like that. I can probably get them to raise it up. Okay. Thank you. All right, that never happened. All right. Anyways, sorry about that. We'll cut that out of the replay. Chris, cut that out. Take a time out. That never happened. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, when you get the meta refresh code, that's what it's called, the processing page, whatever, you create it exactly as it is in the video. You'll put it in the general scripts, the header area. Don't use the custom code, because then when you save it as a custom code, we showed it yesterday. If you missed yesterday's office hours, watch the replay. The custom code will do the process right inside of the builder, and then it's really challenging to do anything else. Okay, so put it in the header, and And then when you save it and you publish it, you can see here I have it set to go to google.com. And there you go, it works, okay? It didn't work yesterday, but it's all fixed up now. That's the best way to do the processing page. So I would recommend personally, if you did it the custom code way, that you go change it. If you don't want it, it's fine. But now, as you can see, I can do other stuff on the page if I ever need to come back and change it. Whereas if I added it in this custom code area down here, right? Drag that in, and I added it in here. It does the redirect in the page builder, and it's just really, it's a challenge. It's messy, okay? So it was a good workaround when the header wasn't working, but now that we fixed it, I suggest you go back to the header, okay? Other than that, I think we can dive back. Let me just check the questions here. People laughing at me. People are like, dude, you just left. Sorry about that. I'm going to, sorry about that, guys. I've never done that before, but I told the guy I'm doing a webinar, don't bug me. He's cutting a hole in my rug. I'll just tell you what happened. So I have this rug, I had my office redone. I have this great office, and I have a stand-up desk, right? So, and I have all these plugs. So I have all my plugs all nicely organized, but the only thing was, my little OCD is the cable for the power bar was like running all the way across the middle of my floor. So I had them install like an outlet in the ground, and I have a rug on top because it helps with the echo when I'm recording videos for you guys. And so I needed somebody to come by and cut a hole in the rug so that the outlet sits flush on top of the rug. And now it's just all nice and clean. And so before he left, I was gonna I never really realized I had OCD until you know, I got divorced, got my own house. I hired a designer to design the house for like the furniture because I have no freaking clue. And even today, I got this custom couch made, and not because like I wanted to be all fancy. It's just I have a very specific small living room space, and I wanted a nice couch. And like the cloud couch, which I'm sure people have heard of from Restoration Hardware, is like 20 grand. And like this custom couch was like a third of the price, and it's really, really nice, Canadian company, whatever. And they made it, and it's beautiful. And I was like, you know, I'd really like an ottoman. So I went back to them to make an ottoman. And I was like, well, you know what? Why not get a storage ottoman? And they were like, well, we could get you a storage ottoman, but it's going to be a little bit taller than the rest of your couch. And I was like, ooh, I was like, I don't know. I don't want this ottoman to be like an extra inch higher. And I was like, let's just not have the storage, right? Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but that stuff, you know, I'm a little weird like that. But anyways, back to work. I want to respect everybody's time here and not just tell you all my life story here, but let's go. For people who are more advanced on building landing pages, what are your thoughts on using JavaScript to move between questions, encapsulating everything into one physical page? Yeah, you're more than welcome to. And what that individual is referring to is, I don't actually, okay. Let's say, for example, you made a page like this, right? When you click the button, instead of switching to page 2, which by the way, you saw that was super fast, it all stays on the same page. So maybe like the next button slides in and then the option slides in. I've tested that. And let me see, Doug, I've tested that, Doug. And it's great and all, doesn't necessarily improve conversions. And it does seem to me to be a little bit of extra work because now you have the ability to duplicate a page, right? So, hey, if you're advanced and you want to do it that way, you can go right ahead. But like, I'd rather just duplicate the page and change the link on the button. It's just as fast. Up to you, but you're more than welcome to do that. Do Google or Bing have a problem with our publishing multiple landing pages but building around unique keywords for the same funnel? Okay. For example, ad group 1, 15 unique keywords goes to landing page 2, headline and page content optimized for these keywords. And ad 2 is a different landing page and ad 3 is a different landing page. Vincent, you're actually amazing because that's exactly what you should do long-term. It's more work. And what Vincent's suggesting, guys, is like Google likes, and we'll get here, Google and Bing, we're actually going to talk about this week. So Vincent is ahead of the game. But they like what's called a good landing page experience. So if I'm targeting rent-to-own pages, right? And I have an ad group with a bunch of apartment keywords in there, and my landing page just says rent-to-own homes, it's fine and all, But Bing and Google are going to like it better if that landing page has wording around apartments. The keyword is apartments, the ad says apartments, the landing page says apartments, the whole ecosystem is around apartments. Then if you had an ad group also going to the same offer, right? But it was around townhomes. Okay, again, the ad says townhomes, the page says townhomes, the keywords are all around townhomes. Google's going to really like that experience, right? They could all still be on your root domain. Let's say your root domain is rent-to-own-homes.com, but then you might have a page that's like /apartment, step one. And then you have another one that's like /townhome, step one. And they both go on the opt-in form to the same SendPad list, and they both redirect to the same max bounty offer, but they're creating different experiences. It's more work. I don't recommend you start there. But hey, if you have the time and you want to actually do it, you could have 30 different ad groups, 30 different landing pages. It will provide a better experience. And in theory, because the experience is better, because the relevance is better, you should have a lower cost. Okay. So Vincent, you nailed it. Google not only is okay with it, they love that you do that. Okay. So I feel like I followed the video instructions to a T. I started adding, let me just increase the size. Here's the hard for me to read. I have 2020, actually I have 2015 vision, but it's just a little small. I'm just gonna close the question box too for now and move my face up there. Okay. So I feel like I followed the instructions to a T. I started ad campaigns for 2 max bounty offers. Within 15 hours, I was banned from Microsoft ads. They will not tell me what I did wrong. In case I am banned from Google and Microsoft, I will not be able to run this business, right? Okay, Graham, first of all, I would recommend you go in and watch video, let's see, module 2. Maybe it was module 3, actually. This is why I bring this up. Module 3, account suspensions, what to do. Okay, watch video 20 in module 3. Short answer is no, there's always other ad accounts you can run on Facebook groups. Microsoft, Google, we're going to teach other ad platforms down the road, but there's ways to call them, use a friend's account, try and get another account under a new business and so on. Watch that video and the answers will be on that. I could do like 20 minutes talking about that, but the answer is be resourceful. I feel like I want to get a poster of like that in my background of be resourceful because I use that phrase so often. But be resourceful. Life's not over. I've been banned. Microsoft's the only place that's never banned me. I've been banned everywhere else in my life. I was new like you guys, right? So be resourceful and you'll be fine. Once you're running a decent amount of Google paid traffic, you suggest using something like ClickCease to filter out fraud clicks. Man, I'm loving these questions. You guys are like on the ball today. ClickCease, for those who don't know, is a tool that says it filters out fraud clicks. The only problem with ClickCease is, let me take a sip of my coffee here. The only problem with ClickCease is Google, so it blocks out, for the most part, their fraud. It blocks out IP addresses. And for those who don't know what an IP address is, it's like every internet household has their own unique IP. Like my household has an IP, your household has an IP. It's like a fingerprint of your internet, right? So they'll look at IPs that click on an ad multiple times. So if I go and I click a Microsoft ad 5 times, in theory, they're like, this guy clicked 5 times. We're going to block his IP, so he's a click frauder, right? The problem is you can only ban 500 IPs off of Google and Microsoft, right? So if you have 500 fraudulent clickers a day, what do you do tomorrow? Well, you have to import new IPs, and then the old ones are deleted. The second thing is they claim you can submit refund requests to Google and Microsoft. They never fulfill them. And the third thing is Google and Microsoft already have their own built-in stuff. So I've tested ClickCease. I'm actually on their annual subscription where I pay $1,500 a year, and I'm not renewing it in June. I turned it off on my campaigns, and I didn't notice a difference in terms of stuff. So no, I don't recommend. I think it's good in theory. I don't think they're bad. I love what they're trying to do. I just don't see it as a useful thing. If I could ask in future, maybe it's difficult, but some of these, like, it's hard. We're on question 5, and I did commit to answering all of them, and I will. But if you could, like, I literally be like, just straight to the point. I would even say, like, instead of like the whole context, should we use ClickCease? Boom, just like straight to the point, so I can fire through these, right? Because now I got to read this long question. I'm not trying to pick on you, Arthur, but if we could shorten them as much as we can fire through them a little bit faster. I'm selecting offers from Match Bounty, but getting strange results when I select and test a tracking link provided by each offer. I've yet to get to a vendor site. Okay. My question, my guess is, Arthur, that you're probably outside of the US, and this would be when you would want to turn on a VPN. You're probably, when you're not in the US and you use a tracking link, you will see nonsense. So for example, I'm in Canada right now. So let's go and look at an offer here. And I don't have my VPN turned on. So let's find one, let's search for ones that I'm approved on. And okay, let's click on this sweepstakes. So the sweepstakes should be saying win 5,000 daily, right? If I actually go to build a tracking link, let's say search, let's get the raw link. Let's copy it. And let's move my face there, paste it. Let's see if it works. It just took me to google.com. You see that? It didn't even take me to the actual offer itself. That's probably why. Turn your VPN on. If I turned my VPN on and set it to the US, I would see this page right here. Okay, that's my likely suggestion. Could I just ask whether it would be best to use my UK LTD company business details for this business or set up a US entity? There's really no reason to set up a US entity. If you have a UK LTD, it's probably perfectly fine. The only reason you would want a US, this is my experience, okay? 'Cause I'm actually really good. I'm a good teacher for stuff like this because I am outside of America. I'm actually kind of in America now too, but I've operated as a Canadian and an American. So I have that experience on both sides. I can't give you tax advice. I can only give you my experience. When I first operated, I operated as a Canadian individual, then a Canadian corporation. We don't have LLCs and stuff like that up here. And I don't know what an LTD is. I'm going to assume it's something similar. But anyways, I operated as a business, and that allowed me to get all the write-offs and things like that you get, and liability protection. The reason I moved into America was because I operate in US dollars. All the CPA companies pay me in USD. I pay people in USD from my network. And so, and I wanted to get access to American credit cards. And in order to get access to American credit cards, you need an American business. So I opened up a corporation. I was able to get an Amex. I got all these crazy points. We're going to have a webinar down the road on how you can maximize cash back and stuff like that on credit cards. But that worked better for me. Okay. And now that I'm like applying for a visa and stuff like that, it makes a lot of sense. For you, when you're starting out though, do you need to have an American business right away? It probably isn't beneficial. You can definitely just use your UK stuff. Okay. I've generated privacy policy terms of services you showed us. My question is, do these need to be in the country you live in or the country you're going to advertise in? Country you live in. All right. Country you live in. You want to make sure that the policy pages match what the credit card information is in Google and Microsoft ads as well. I think that's very, very important. So even if you are in America and let's say you don't have a business, you want to use your personal credit card to advertise on, but you don't want your personal address going into the privacy policy pages. That's fine. Go get yourself a mail forwarding or a PO box, put that in the privacy policy pages, but make sure you call your credit card company and update your address there too. Sounds silly, but Google and Microsoft, I've seen it where they'll temporarily suspend you if your privacy policy address doesn't match your billing address in Microsoft, okay? So if you're international and you want to go get yourself a US business, right? And you want to put your US business address in your privacy policy, well, make sure you're using a US credit card that has that as well, okay? That has to all match up, okay? I don't want to use my address in the legal sections. Would you suggest getting a virtual PO box? Yes, but again, make sure you update. It's not hard. Call your credit card company and update the address on file. You can do that, no problem, okay? It means your credit card bills, if you're getting paper bills, would go to the virtual address, but get online statements. And then there's no bills that are going to be sent to you anyways, right? I'm about to get a domain name from GoDaddy. Is there any other place I can get one? And also, if I use my campaigns, would I need to purchase a domain name each time? This is in the training, so make sure you go back, okay? But you can get it from Float Hosting. No, you don't need to get a domain. I would recommend getting a domain every single time. Just use something very generic in the get-go. If you find a niche that works for you, yes, then I would recommend going and buying a domain. But if you want to test like 6 different niches, I don't want you going out there spending $10 to $15 every single time on every domain, and then you test the health niche and it sucks and you just waste it. I mean, it's only 10 or 15 bucks, but still, I'd rather you put that towards ads, okay? Generic domain to start, move to a niche name as it takes off. Use Float Hosting, okay? Little Float Hosting plug in there. I did everything correctly in the tracking link. You know, and I don't mean to say like, but usually when people say I did everything correctly, probably didn't do something correctly, but just throwing that out there. I'm already creating landing pages and messaging Facebook groups. I went and created a tracking link, and then just to check on it. Okay, so we covered this. What if I managed to get someone to put their details, not getting paid for it? We covered this in previous videos. I guess, you know, it is what it is. I can't expect that everybody's going to show up to every single second of every office hour, but there's something called a scrub. You know, an advertiser might pay $4 for just name back end. On a lot of advertisers, I hate it, but they might have some sort of something set where they say they only pay on 20% of people that put name and email in. It's just the way it is. So I wouldn't focus on that. I wouldn't go testing forms out myself. That's actually going to hurt you in the long run, because the way a CPA offer works is when you're sending name and email to an advertiser and they're supposed to pay you, that advertiser needs to make money. So if the advertiser is paying you $1 for name and email, they want to be able to make more than $1, right? They want to be profitable. So if you start putting through name, email, name, email, name, email, and they don't monetize it, right? They start emailing the contacts you send, nobody opens it, they don't make any money. They're just going to shut you off. They're going to be like, your traffic is crap, right? So you want to make sure that you send it to people, they put it in and whatever. Also, I would suggest, I've said this before, if you guys are relying on free traffic to be like the panacea, however you pronounce that word, like this is going to be the thing that, like, it's just not. It's great as like a supplementary source and like getting your feet wet and started. But, you know, running ads is going to be your source of scale over time. Okay. So make sure you try to move that as quick as possible. How many bridge page questions should we have before the offer? 1 or 2 is fine. We've covered that. You know, you can test out a question funnel or just going straight to the opt-in page. Try testing both. Okay. Can you please show us the steps again of how to copy our page and float funnels? Just duplicate now. You can literally go and press duplicate and whatever. I'll just press the duplicate button. And there we go. Just duplicated it right here. Okay, now we can go in and edit it. All right. So that is, this question might be a little bit older, but that is new. When posting on Facebook for free traffic, why not post with a direct link to your bridge page? Why do people need to PM you? Because if you post your links in these Facebook groups, oftentimes Facebook will put you in jail, you know, or groups might suspend you, kick you out. So it's better to do that, asking people to message you. Can you please let me know how to add an email capture link using float funnels to complete our opt-in funnel, and why wasn't this covered during training? It definitely was. We have how to connect. So video number 3/9, connecting SendPad form to float funnels. Okay. That also covers how to connect other email autoresponders as well. Okay. So go back and check that one out. Is it allowed to have a short video on the landing page? You can. I find on most of our traffic is on mobile. Videos don't autoplay on mobile. People don't press the play button. It takes up a lot of real estate. It usually converts a lot worse. Sean, in your autoresponder training, you want them to engage with you, but what if they start asking questions about XYZ offer of the company? Example, RTO offer. What if someone asks you about a particular home or an area? If you're just saying it's CEO, isn't that misleading them on who you are? I don't bother replying to people in emails. That's not the game. Don't overthink it. You're just going to send them emails, and we'll talk about in the coming weeks what to do when people respond to you, but I don't engage with those people. And it's not misleading. It's not my job to represent rent to own. I am the CEO of my company, but it's my job to send that contact to the rent to own company, and that rent to own company is going to reach out to those people, and those people will work with that company. Once I send the information to that company, my job is done. Okay. And I think I missed something here. Microsoft ad accounts, what happens if you don't have a registered business? You just put your personal name. I covered that in the training. So if I don't have a registered business, when it asks for it, just put Sean Agnew or whatever your name is. Just put Alan, whatever. Okay. I'm banned for Facebook. Can you please suggest a good free traffic alternative to using Facebook? Go get another Facebook account. Plain and simple. All right. Use another email, use another, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. Could you show us some steps of how to make a lead page using an example of a CPA grip offer link? You know, at the end of the day, guys, I can't make videos on showing you how to build pages for every single offer out there. The concept is the same, right? If it's an offer on a CPA grip, I mean, you're going to send them to a page that looks like this, right? Headline, subheadline, question, buttons, right? So name one, health. Why, you know, looking for low-cost healthcare, starting from $57 a month. And how do you come up with that? Well, you know, you go out to Google. cheap healthcare. And I'm in Canada, so I'm not going to get good results, but because we have public healthcare, we don't have private insurance, but you'll start seeing what other ads are doing. Okay, this guy's offering it for 57, this one's 47. Okay, boom. Something from 60, 50, 60 bucks a month, you put that in. What questions are they asking? Make some notes, look at your top 2 or 3 competitors, and then you're just asking questions. These are just filler anyways. This is just pre-selling and warm up. So whether it's CPA grip, max bounty, health, auto, RTO, you name it, the process is the same. We can't just go on and on and on. I mean, you guys got to do some of the work, right? I'm giving you the concept. And we're going to go through more of this on Saturday as well. You're going to see exactly how I find an offer. We're going to go through, we're going to look at other competitors. You're going to see why I wrote the headline I wrote, why I did the sub headline I wrote, and so on and so forth. Okay. In your experience, are we good to somehow remove an already embedded phone number reference in an ad? Please see attached ad from Max Bounty related life insurance offer. Are we good? In your experience, are we good to somehow remove? I don't know what that means, but no, you can't. I'm just going to go based off what I think you're asking. You can't change what's on the offer page itself. And again, don't worry, don't overanalyze the offer page. Don't even really look at the offer page other than maybe for colors, if the offer is kind of blue and orange, I might make my page blue and orange. But other than that, I'm not concerned with it. Try to simplify. This is actually a good point. Try to simplify what your thinking is. Don't worry about, what if somebody asks me this question? What are they going to do with the leads? What if the offer looks like this? What if this? What if that? All you should be concerned about is building the page, getting your opt-in rate up, getting the highest EPC you can, and making things profitable. Max Bounty's already done all the work to vet these companies. These are reputable companies. These companies are responsible for calling the leads. You're not doing anything wrong, right? This isn't a scam. I know we're all used to things being scammy on the internet, but it's not a scam. We're simply trying to generate data that these companies over here are looking for, and we send the data to those companies, and those companies will contact them, and they will connect the people with offers they're interested in. If somebody's looking for insurance, they're going to give us the info. We're going to connect them with the insurance company. The insurance company is going to call the customer and give them insurance. It's a nice cycle where everybody gets paid. I get paid, Max Bounty gets paid, insurance company gets paid, the customer gets their insurance. You see what I mean? This is good. It's not a scam. It's a safe ecosystem where we all win. Okay. So really just try to trust in that and not try to overthink and ask all these questions of the what ifs. Your job is to create an ad, create a simple page, get the email, and send them to the offer. You want a high conversion rate and the highest EPC you can get so you're profitable. That's what you're focused on, right? The other stuff takes care of itself. That's the advertiser's job. That's Max Bounty's job. Max Bounty is a multiple 8-figure company, one of the best companies in Canada, one of the literally the #1 network out there. They only work with clients that are super reputable. If you go to Max Bounty here and you go to browse their top offers, you're going to see companies in here like Just Answer. That's a massive company. Noom. We've all heard of Noom, right? The weight loss company. Everything you see here, these are legit. Norton Antivirus, MoneyGram, AARP. These are major billion-dollar Ashley Madison. Okay, well, there's debatable whether that's a reputable company or not, but you get my point, right? Don't ButcherBox. Don't get too concerned with the back end of everything. Okay, your job is just to focus on your part of this equation. Okay. Can we import a list from autoresponder? But I have 15 contacts. You can. 15 is probably fine. I talked about this the other day. I'm going to talk about it more this week and next. But somebody asked, well, why don't you use SendPad entirely? The reason is I have hundreds of thousands of leads, and for reasons that are beyond the scope of this course, importing leads from one autoresponder to another never delivers properly. I've already warmed my list up on SendLane, which is the company I used before. On SendLane, their IPs, their sending domains, my sending domain over there, and so on. So if I took those leads and imported them into a new autoresponder on new IPs, new sending domains, so on, I'm going to hit the spam the second I email them. And those leads are dead. Okay. So the goal is, if you have another autoresponder, 15 contacts, I would argue they're just 15 leads. I wouldn't even worry about that. But let's say you had 10,000 leads over here in AWeber. Keep it. and start sending your leads to SendPad. And now you have 2 autoresponders, right? The price is going to be the same because you're not really paying for SendPad, and you're building up your leads here. Over time, your Aweber leads are going to die, right? And you're building up SendPad, and then you cancel Aweber and you just mail out a SendPad when all those old leads die. That's how I would go about it. When I create my landing page in FloatFunnels desktop view and then I look at it in tablet or mobile view, I notice that the formatting is off. It should be fixed. Prit, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. If your mobile responsive is still looking bad, can you please open up a ticket? Because my understanding is that was fixed. Okay. Can we or not run sweepstakes ads? I think it's a bit of a gray area, but I would read the Microsoft ads policies. It's kind of like, how can I investigate why I received 140 click max bounty and no conversions? Reach out to your affiliate manager on that. That sounds very low, but I would reach out to them and say, hey, I sent that many clicks. Why is it so bad? Can you comment on this campaign description of max bounty? No new pubs can go live on a weekend or increase traffic without seeking permission. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, not to be rude there. Basically means don't run traffic on weekends, and make sure you ask your affiliate manager if you can run traffic, okay? What happens if I did start a campaign on Saturday? You shouldn't have, because they told you not to. And if I started a campaign on Thursday and ran it for 7 days, is that okay? No, right? They said don't run it on weekends, okay? So make sure you read that stuff, work with your affiliate manager, build that relationship. Would you please provide better instructions on how to use the FloatFunnels create pages, like a user manual? We do have little videos we're working on, and I'm sorry you have to keep going back. I'm not sure, other than like me creating like 100 videos of like minute by minute snippets, it's a little challenging. We are working on stuff like that in the back end, but you know, I would just say really don't focus on every little snippet in there. Again, I'm going to go over this on Saturday, but it's like headline, subheadline, question, buttons, text, nav. I know I said 6 things, but it really is 6 things. If you can master those 6 things, you don't have to worry about videos and images and countdown timers and making this all the greatest page of all time. Like, this page is super basic, and I'm telling you, I actually this is very similar to a page I've spent millions of dollars on in the past. I'm not even joking with you, okay? Hand to God, may lightning strike my daughter, okay? This is literally very color by color similar to a page that I spent millions on Facebook and then Bing on RTO traffic in the past. It's this ugly, okay? With literally something like this, like almost it looks to the T like it, okay? It's super ugly, super easy to make. You should be able to make this in under an hour, even if you're new. And if it takes you a couple hours, you'll get better and better and better, okay? I'm going to encourage you to just like not get overwhelmed, you know, and just maybe write it down, okay? Headline, subheadline, text, button, you know, okay? I did add some images in here. You don't need to do that. But watch how I do this video. I know it, you know, you might need to pause a couple times, but you'll get better and better and better and better and better. Again, it's like driving a car, right? You know, or like riding a bike, or my kids skating. When my son was first skating, he stood up and fell down. Now the kid's skating backwards 4 months later, right? You can't just start skating backwards though. So you got to like learn how to stand up before you skate backwards. Okay, we're going to get there. And I do appreciate your ask for smaller tidbits. We are working on that, and you will see it in the coming weeks in the video tutorials area. But for now, you know, we just got to keep practicing over and over, okay? I watched module 3.7 several times. The autoresponder is stuck in draft with no way to edit. What do I do? Take a response, review 3.7. Okay, that's, I would reply to that ticket and say, I did. Make a Loom video. Sometimes when you say, I've watched it and it's not working, you know, maybe our support staff, you know, might not really like know exactly what you're talking about. So it's easier to just make a Loom and say, hey guys, I appreciate, you know, you telling me to watch 3.7. I watched it. Here's what I'm seeing. Can you help? And then we can help you identify it a little bit better. You know what I mean? So that would be my recommendation there. I personally been working on, and guys are 11:34. I'm going to keep going through these. I'm committed to crushing them all out for you. All right. I personally been working on this for a couple hours every day and keep hitting delays because of software issue and Microsoft suspending new accounts for review. Whoa. Okay. First of all, I'm going to just take a time out there. When you say Microsoft suspending new accounts for review, that scares me because it makes me think you're opening up new accounts over and over. And if you're doing that, that's horrible. I literally, you know, I'm not sorry. Let me just step back. Sometimes I'm a little blunt and I don't want to offend people. I'm a nice Canadian guy and everything I say is always coming from the heart. I'm not out one of the big things that is almost unhelpable not to scare you. But in my video of like account suspensions, what do you do? Like I'm 99% confident every single person, if you watch that video, can get going back on Microsoft or Google. One thing I'm not overly confident about is if you have multiple accounts on there, like they've already suspended you, now you've opened multiple accounts, like you're just flags everywhere of fraud, right? It reeks of fraud. I'm not saying you're fraudulent. I'm saying what they would see, right? So I'm hoping that you didn't open up multiple accounts. What I would suggest is we do have Google coming up. Watch that video again. There's still hope. I would suggest in that scenario, you find a friend or like become a new person based on that video. You'll know what I mean there. Software issues, there's not really many, I check. I mean, we've launched stuff in the past, and for our past users who may have worked with Cartsy, I love that software, but like that thing had many issues when we first launched off the ground. With Float, there was a mobile responsiveness thing. The refresh code was kind of not working. With SendPad, we had some issues with the DNS. That seems to be fixed. But I just want to throw it out there that software seems to be working fine. I'm looking at the tickets and we don't have any major issues that are identified. So don't. Maybe it's like a self-limiting thing that you're kind of coming up against the wall. I'd ask you to maybe look inward, and instead of having like a defeatist mindset of like the software sucks, this sucks, my accounts, like change the mindset and be like, okay, there's this couple bugs, that's fine, it's fixed. I'm gonna go at it. My Microsoft ad accounts down. I'm gonna watch this video. I'm gonna get a friend. Okay, I'm just gonna be resourceful at it. I'm gonna post in free Facebook groups. Google traffic's coming. You know what I mean? Just like flip it around from a negative into a positive. Rome wasn't built in a day. Millions aren't gonna fall from the sky in a couple of weeks. Let's just look at this more of a long-term thing. Okay, forget the 30-day money back guarantee. If you're concerned, I'm not trying to do that because like, I'm trying to like scam you into staying past 30 days, but like, if in our mind we're stuck on the 30-day, you're already defeated. You know what I mean? Like you've already defeated yourself, right? And then I got to ask you the question, like, are you going to just do that for every business? Because I don't know any business out there where there's not going to be some obstacles along the way, right? That's why not everybody is an entrepreneur, So I know there's a little bit of a mindset talk, but like, challenge yourself to not let the obstacles get in your way. Challenge yourself to be resourceful. Forget the 30 days. This isn't a 30-day business. This is a 30-month business. This is a years-long business. That's what you should be looking at. What am I going to look at 30 days from now, 90 days, 180? Set yourself goals, right? And forget about the refund period. If you're focused on that, you kind of already defeated yourself, right? So, try to be positive about it. What are the percentage of breakdown of paid ads, Microsoft or Google, you personally do nowadays? Almost like 80-20. I like to start on Microsoft because they're more lenient if you make mistakes, and it's a good place to get your feet wet. Google definitely has a lot more traffic. And when you learn Microsoft, the process from Microsoft to Google is super duper similar. So we start there and then we graduate. It's like Microsoft is like your bachelor's and Google's like your master's and PhD kind of thing, okay? Joel, I'm not even going to read that question. Watch me on Saturday, okay? Watch me on Saturday when it comes to offers. If I see any other questions here on offers, just to speed through things, we're going to cover this all on Saturday. There's tons of offers there, guys. If there were no offers to run, then CPA businesses, Max Bounty wouldn't make all the money they make and nobody would win, right? In the SendPad, in terms of use, section 5, it says runs mail list, listserv, any form of autoresponder or spam. Some of the terms written by our lawyers are more like protection wise. Basically, that line means don't spam people. Don't set it up so that you can just like import lists and mail it out multiple times a day. So appreciate you that you read the terms over and over, but trust me, it's totally fine to have an autoresponder. Do we need to add copyright information to the footer of their webpage? I noticed the webinar, I saw the copyright information on the test landing page. Don't have to have it. You have to have privacy, contact, and terms. Copyright's a nice to have, and it takes 2 seconds to do. And also, like, you put a copyright there, so if somebody rips your page off, you can threaten to sue them, kind of thing. Please go over updating the A record. I have domain and flow hosting. I've gone over your instructions and I'm still lost. I don't know, like I would watch the video again. I hate to say that, but like if you're still struggling, open up a ticket, we'll help you out, okay? Because it's like I would literally just be going to Float to do the same thing that's in the video. There's nothing I'm going to do magically live that's any different. You know what I mean? When you mean SOI, single opt-in, does that mean the person filling out the offer, all they have to do is enter their email and that's it? Then we get paid? Yes. There's the SOI and DOI. DOI is double opt-in. That means you get paid when they put their email in, then they go back to Gmail, click on the confirmation email, and click on the button. Okay, so we like SOI better. All right. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of speed through. The rest of that question is a little long. I'm just going to get past that. I'm really sorry there, Brian. What do we put for the contact link at the bottom of the page? Just mail to, this in the training, mail to, and then whatever your email address is. If you don't have like a support at whatever.com, just create a simple Gmail. So it'll literally look like this. Okay. Mail to colon your, whatever. Email at gmail.com. Okay. And when somebody clicks on the link, that's going to pop up a mail browser. That's all you need. You don't need like a contact page itself. Can you use a Facebook business page instead of a private personal page for 123 Profits for free and paid traffic? Well, we're not really talking about paid traffic on Facebook. We're talking about posting in groups. And I don't think you can post in groups as a business. So you would use your personal profile for that. I had the same problems others, Bing and Microsoft suspending my account. First of all, I would sit there and say that I know for a fact, like 95% of users out there have no problems with Microsoft. So, the sentence same problems as others, I don't want to scare people. So anybody watching this, when that's written, I can understand the frustration when you get your account like suspended or whatever. I just want to make sure that we understand this isn't like a members wide problem. It's a smaller group. And I think we've been transparent that this happens. It could be a wide variety of reasons. Have you been suspended in the past? Did you have a mismatch between your policy and your billing address? Did you log in from a VPN? Maybe sometimes, unfortunately, you're from a country Microsoft hates, and I'm not going to list them out, but, just for example, if you're from North Korea, they're probably not going to want you on their platform, et cetera, right? And then there are things like, Microsoft just being stupid, and you just got to call them up over and over, okay? But anyways, I would venture to say, it's going to be super rare that you can't have both Microsoft and Google, and it'll be super rare that if you somehow get suspended from both, you can't get at least one of them back. And if you are in that situation, you are in like the 0.001%. Okay, so follow the training on how to get your account back and what to do, and go from there. Okay, module 2, you showed us how to build a bridge page, but not an opt-in page. I do show you that in module 3 there. Video number. The 3-step pre-sale funnel 3.8. Okay. The reason I only show the bridge pages first is because I want you to run just that on Facebook. Once we get to Microsoft, we move into like a more, a little bit of a longer flow. Okay. So check that one out. Seems to me that SendPad confirmation email is very vague. It might be confusing for someone. Don't worry about that. It's just a very small template. We are going to add the ability to adjust that over time. It's actually recommended that you do that, because what happens is Google hates duplicate content, right? So this is why I was saying the other day, if we're going to give you done for you email templates, but if you all use the same template and nobody changes it, Google's eventually going to mark that. They're smart. They have robots and whatever that do this stuff. And they're going to, let's say I had an email that was like, hey guys, this is Sean. And would you like to learn how to make money on surveys? Click here at the end, right? If we all use that exact email, Google's going to see that content over and over and over and over. And they're going to be like, oh, this is spam. And then that's going to end up in the spam folder. So yeah, the same stands to reason with a confirmation email. This is a confirmation email that is new, so it's fine right now. But over time, you're going to want to write your own confirmation email. Okay, so we're going to get there. Rome wasn't built in a day with software either. So we made the decision to we're launching with it as it is, but give us a week or two and we'll have some updates on that. Okay. Does my privacy policy need to have a physical address? Yes, physical, PO box, virtual mailing, whatever. It needs to have an address as something like that. When I created my privacy policy module 2, I followed all the steps, and because I'm not a business, I selected individual option. When you select the individual option, are you not required to enter a physical address? Yep, as I mentioned, I would just put mail forwarding, PO box if you don't want to use your personal address. Okay, no problem. Can you explain why we bid on keywords and the relationship bidding has on the daily bidding amount, a budget amount? So if our daily budget is $10 and our keyword bid is 50 cents, that mean we pay for only 20 clicks? Exactly. Yep. Microsoft will try to only bid as high as 50 cents, and they will try to not bid on more than 20 clicks. You nailed it. Good job. We'll go over more of this on. Part of the thing is, like, I think about it. I think you guys relate to me for a second, right? I'm asking you to relate to me. So obviously I've been doing this a long time, right? There's a huge amount of knowledge in this brain on how to teach people Microsoft and Google. But you can imagine that, like, there's so many strategies, right? So like I'm trying to think like if I was to do this outside of this course and somebody was to sit there and like they're sitting beside me like, dude, I need you to show me Microsoft Google. I would literally probably be like, all right, I want you to book next weekend off. Let's go to my office. I'm going to whiteboard this and we're going to spend hours and hours and hours and hours, which is why I want to do the Super Saturday because it's easier instead of like, hey guys, this is Sean and this is how you set up your first Microsoft campaign. Okay, now the campaign starts running. What do we look for? This is what our stats were yesterday. How would I optimize this? You know what I mean? There's so many little intricacies. So I'm hoping that the Fast Cash Saturday is just going to be super helpful for everyone because you're literally going to get inside the brain, right? Versus like these little instructional videos, which are great, but I think it's more value if like you see me kind of off the cuff and just pick my brain, so to speak, live, right? So that's hopefully what we'll get. Being new to the CPA space, would you recommend using autoresponder feature in SendPad as the best way to run ads for an offer that only allows traffic by email and social media? Not sure what you mean there, Angeline, but like traffic is going to be, traffic and email are different, right? So if something is only taking social media and email, that means you can run, you can post on Facebook or you can run Facebook, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, that would be social. And then email is a completely separate beast. So if you took the leads in on a Facebook ad into your list, then you would use SendPad to email. So that's totally fine. Hopefully that helps clear that up. While testing SendPad form on my opt-in page, I submitted a couple of different email addresses, one being Hotmail, we'll talk about that in a second. The other Gmail, seems a Hotmail did not even register with SendPad. It's just gone out into the ether. Yep, we'll talk about that in a second. Never recorded as being on my SendPad list or in the contacts. This begs the question is responders to our offers use Hotmail address, will their action not be recorded? Perfect. Great question there, Jane. Hotmail, MSN, meaning Microsoft Properties, MSN, Hotmail, Outlook, Live, they hate email, period. Good news is they represent like 2% of users out there. So the important thing is 82% of people use Gmail. So if you can just inbox in Gmail, that's 82% of the battle. And Yahoo's like the other 13%. It's like almost 95% is Gmail and Yahoo. Yahoo's a little touch and go, but honestly, it's very difficult to inbox with AOL. And I know lots of people still use AOL. You'd be surprised. It's like another 2%. But AOL, Hotmail, I wouldn't even worry. It's not even us. Every autoresponder has huge problems inboxing to Microsoft Properties. They just hate everybody. So don't worry about it. That's a great point. But your goal is to try to inbox the Gmail. If you can inbox the Gmail, I don't even focus on Yahoo. You're winning 80% of the time. And if you don't inbox anywhere else and you took 1,000 leads in, you're still going to collect like 820 leads, right? And if you can get Yahoo, you're going to collect 900 plus out of 1,000 leads. And honestly, a lot of the other ones like iCloud and random emails, they'll still come in. So if you're not getting Hotmail or AOL, you're still probably going to take in 95% of the leads and don't even worry about the other stuff. You know what? They don't want our business. Forget them. If you edit the SendPad forward after you embed it in your funnel, it will automatically update. I would recommend when you edit it in the form, you go back and edit it in flow funnels as well. If an offer has an email crossed through, do you still ask for an email address on the opt-in page? Yes, because you will email them other offers that will allow email, okay? What does it mean if that a landing page may rotate? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Nicole. So I'll have to skip that one. How and who do I send my completed W8BEN form at Max Bounty? Reach out to your affiliate manager. They will give you an email address. They probably have some sort of accounting inbox generically. I'm just going to check my Skype here just in case I have someone from support. I got a whole bunch of messages blowing up. Boo, 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 1, 2. All right, good. Nothing crazy. Okay, we're not on a breath here. All right, almost done, guys. I committed, and I commit to something. We do it. I'm really built. Oh wait, so I started this program late, so this is the beginning of my second week. In order to save time and money, I would prefer to skip the free traffic and go straight to the pay. You're speaking. And I hate giving this answer, but my girlfriend asked me this stuff, and she's got a marketing background, and even my business partner Josh asked me these questions, and throw 30, 40 bucks at it. You're going to know pretty quickly if the offer is any good or not, right? I don't expect you to spend $1,000 to test. It's 20, 30, 40 bucks. Boom. Is it good? Is it not? You're going to know really quick. I've nearly built my bridge page, but I know what you mean by gaining commissions after we've published it. I thought it's only a bridge page when they don't give us emails. How would we make money? You make money after somebody clicks the button and then enters their information on the offer afterwards. On the bridge page where we add info below the fold, do we get this information from? We've covered this. Just go find other competitors, copy the information, spin it around, make it unique to yourself, and paste it on there. Yep, actually, you just answered your own question after. So far, I've copied and pasted another person's website, but I reworded the whole thing. That's perfect. I found a few offers, and the one I've been chosen says email submit. Support from 123 said, ask my AM, it's a single submit. Sorry, I'm running out of voice and I'm talking really fast. Support from 123 said to ask my affiliate manager if it's single opt-in, but he's taking ages to respond on email and Skype. You can also just look into the max bounty and it'll tell you in the offer as well. Okay. And if it's not, just give it a test. What I would suggest too, just on another thing is don't let somebody else's delay slow you down. Oh, my affiliate manager hasn't emailed me. Don't be like, well, you haven't answered me in a week, so I didn't run traffic. Like, just go, I think everybody's kind of got 20 bucks, throw it at the traffic. You're gonna know really quickly if it's garbage or not, really. First video, the 50 days and 50K and 50-day case study. You see that Sean's sample page footer contains a general privacy page and a California privacy notice. I wouldn't worry about the California privacy notice for now. You can add it if you want. Is the same video the competitor's landing page? Link to the offer below the fold, but like nobody goes below the fold. Tiny amount of people. Below the fold is just appeasing Google and Microsoft to make it look less like a bridge page and more like an actual website. Wonder if it's okay if questions we put on our bridge page are some of the same as the questions of the product offer page. Totally fine. Wouldn't the user wonder why I'm asked the same question twice? When I first started out, guys, these are great questions. When I first started, I was like, dude, why would somebody opt into my page and then opt into their page? And I'm asking the same questions to them. This is dumb, but people do. So again, trust the program. A totally normal question. I wondered the same stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's not a problem. People want the offer. You got to remember, right? Like, this is high intent. There's interrupt marketing. I'm on Facebook. I'm looking at, people bitching about, it used to be, I used to make this joke about Trump. So now I can make jokes for Democrats. People like complaining about Sleepy Joe out there. And, oh, did you see that air balloon? And why didn't he shoot it down or whatever? People looking at cat photos or pictures of their grandma or whatever. And then they get interrupted with this, offer on rent-to-own homes. And some people click on it and some people don't. That's interrupting. Those people are not the highest quality versus somebody that's literally going to Microsoft or Google and saying, how do I get a cheap rent-to-own home? They click on your ad. They go through all the questions. They give you their information. And now they're on the offer page. They want the offer at that point. They have gone all the way to the end. They're going to do it again. They know that this close to actually getting information about the rent-to-own homes. You got to think in that context. It's super high intent. They've gone out, they've searched, they've clicked on, they've done all this work. They want what you have, right? I'm planning to travel from the USA to Australia for a month. I want to continue running traffic. Should I use a VPN to access my USA while traveling? No. Good point, but never use a VPN to log in your ads account. I wouldn't even worry about it at this point. You set up your ad account in the USA, start running your traffic before you go. And if you want to look at it from Australia, you should be fine. If there are any questions that arise, you can just write them back and say, hey, I'm traveling. Here's proof, whatever, and they're totally fine. That should be okay. Don't ever use a VPN. Don't use VPNs in your ad account. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to say that 50 times. Somebody's still going to do it, but don't do it. Don't do it. A VPN should only be used in an incognito window when nothing else open to search for offers if you are outside of America. Okay. If otherwise, do not log into Google or Microsoft with it. Please don't do that. I'm begging you. They will suspend you for that. If possible, I don't want to scare you. I just don't want to get you suspended. You know what I mean? And we've had people do that. And so it's I know this because in the past, when I've taught Google training for e-com and stuff like that, it's I just have to keep hammering that home. No VPN, no VPN. VPN's only use is if I close down all these windows, I open up an incognito window and I'm searching for offers on Google and Microsoft if I'm outside of America. Other than that, never ever use it. When you're done with it, turn it off, close down the window, then log into Microsoft and Google, okay? If possible, could you have Sean explain a little bit further on how to read the metric in Microsoft ads or determining if the CPA is less than the EPC? Okay, your CPA, right? That's going to be on Microsoft. The CPA is going to be like your cost per lead in this case. So if I'm paying 50 cents, right? Let's just write this out, okay? If I'm paying, oh, shoot, that is huge. 50 cents per lead. Oh, sorry, per click, right? Okay, we get that? And that means 100 clicks costs $50. Is that correct? Let's say I took in 30 leads, right? 30, that's a good opt-in rate. My opt-in rate, my CPA or CPL, my cost per action, cost per lead equals 50 divided by 30, right? Cost per divided by action. So 50 divided by 30, which equals 50 divided by 30, 1.67, right? $1.67. Okay, $1.67. So that's my cost per action. If my EPC now is going to be determined by, okay, out of these 30 leads, right? So 30 people now see the offer after opt-in, right? 30 people opt in, they see the offer. Let's say I made $60, okay? My EPC is equal to 60 over 30. Earnings divided by clicks. There are 60 bucks and there are 30 clicks. The clicks are different in this case. It's not the Microsoft clicks. It's the leads, the people that have seen the offer. Because remember, the offer max bounty is only going to show you the amount of people that have seen it. They don't care about Microsoft. They only care about the leads. Those are the clickers. That means I made $2, right? So now my CPA is $1.67, $1.67, which is less than 2. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And we'll talk about more about that on Saturday. Seems I picked a weak niche for Bing search with assumed 3 clicks per month according to the ad campaign. Don't worry about those assumed clicks per month, by the way, that data is dicey. Sean outlined one of the videos in module 3. That survey is not good on Bing. What do I do? Mission abort, switch to another niche. First of all, don't worry about the Microsoft keyword planner. That's like, that data is not the greatest on the estimated clicks. And second of all, test away. The reason I said survey is not the best, because I've tested it. It's okay. Some people have done well with surveys. I taught this a couple of years ago using surveys, and everybody then just followed my demo, and it was like we had all these people doing the same thing. And that's not to sit there and say that this will get saturated, but everybody copies my exact page, my exact keywords, this and that. Look, there are hundreds of thousands of keywords in rent to own. So if you all went and made up your own rent to own pages and you all did different rent to own keywords, in theory, you should all be fine, right? But if we're all going to copy the same page, the same words, the same keywords, this, that, and everything, it's probably not going to do well. So you can definitely test out surveys. I would just test it out there, Roger, and see what happens. I know that we've only looked at opening Microsoft Ads account. The Google Ads is forthcoming, but I've seen that Google is offering $600 when you spend $600 for Canadian. Would it still be better to open it with a USD billing, or should I take advantage of this offer with Canadian billing? I'm going to leave that up to you, Mark, to see which one works better for you. I would say if you have a Canadian credit card, you probably want to operate in Canadian dollars. If you have an American credit card and you're getting paid in American, you have an American bank account, all that stuff, you might want to operate in US dollars. Whatever is the simplest way to operate, whichever currency is the simplest way to operate is what I would go with, regardless of the deal I was getting. I don't want to get a better deal in the beginning and then it complicates my business down the road. Flow funnels won't save any of the UET. Yeah, I know, pain in the butt, right? Flow funnels won't save any of my UET tags. Can you please, Troy, if that's still an issue, open up a ticket? Because we do have a few tickets like that and it was doing it for me, but it's working now. Can you please open a ticket and a Loom so you can show them? And I just want to have them see more examples. Guys, if you can't, what was not working for me was in, and it's working now for me, but it wasn't in the beginning. If you go to settings and you try to save a script, or you try to save the Microsoft UET tag and you press that save button, when I refresh the page, it would disappear. That's fixed for me, but some people, if you're having it, please send tickets in because I want to be able to troubleshoot that. And the more examples we have, the more we can investigate. So thank you for bringing that up, Troy. When working with Google, Microsoft, the last question. Running one-page ads, for example, your golf club ad, can that be done? You're focused, sorry, when running one-page ads, for example, you're focusing on 3-page ads, and I'm confused if that was just for Facebook. Yes, I talk about it in the pre-sale video. Whew. All right, so ads that have 3 steps, right? Where I go step 1, step 2, and then step 3 is the opt-in page, okay? And I forget, I don't think I had the form saved on this page, which is fine. That works majority of the time. But what also works is just sending people to the opt-in page. So again, test it. I would start with a 3-step opt-in, okay? 3-step pre-sale funnel, whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, I would also then test just the opt-in page only without the questions in front, okay? I'm gonna go get a glass of water. You guys think up some questions. I'll stick around for an extra 15 minutes here to answer in the Q&A. And yeah. Whew. 61 questions. That's a lot of questions to answer. Sorry if I sped through them. Took an hour to get through them all. And I feel like if I slowed down even further, would be, I'm like sweating over here, man. It's hot. Could be the fact that I'm on my 3rd coffee. Maybe I'm a little jittery with probably too much coffee. Whew. All right. Okay. Can you pass email from our opt-in form to the offer page? Rick, I love questions like that. Some offers will allow that. What Rick means is oftentimes, so after you opt in, what would be cool is, let me just find something. Browse so I can show what Rick, that's a great question, buddy. Approved to run. Okay, and we're gonna go with email submits, okay? So, for example, let's see if I can see the sample page at least. Okay, good. So after opt-in, okay, some offers allow it so that on this page, let's say I opted in with seanciagnew@gmail.com. After opt-in, the email would be passed right into this box. So all the user needs to do is click the enter button. Some offers add that, and you'll see right here. It'll say like pass variables, and it will give you the code. You have to know a little bit of coding. So it sounds, Rick, like you might be able to do that. I would reach out to your affiliate manager and just say, hey, am I allowed to pass the name and email variable onto the offer? And they'll tell you yes or no. And if it's yes, they'll give you the code. And then you need to figure out how to do that on the page, which is beyond my capability. But you can probably pay somebody on like Fiverr to figure that out for like 20 bucks or something. What is UET? Dan, it's the universal event tracking, a universal event tag, universal event tracking tag. Anyway, it's in the video. It's a Microsoft tag you need to have on your pages, okay? Should we use background images on our landers? No need for that. Can I log in with a VPN if I'm traveling? Never log in with a VPN. We just covered that. Only log in with a VPN if you're looking for offers and you're outside of America. If you're traveling and you want to log into your ad account, don't turn on a VPN. Where do you take images from when posting? Do you buy the rights to use them? You know, I think now I use royalty-free images. I can't remember from what company. Josh, my COO, and my dev team deal with that. But yeah, you can always maybe even reach out to Fiverr, or I don't know, like if you're just testing out and you right click and save an image. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you to do that. It's probably copyright, but type in royalty-free images on Google. There's lots out there that you can get for free. But you know, I don't know, if you're just testing out and you swipe an image or two and then you're like, oh, this works, then you might want to switch out, make sure. But you know, when you're testing out, I personally don't go the extra mile to, you know, just me. I'm a little more like gray area kind of guy. But anyways. Your form did not show because you were in an incognito page. All right, well, that's no good. So, okay, let's test that out. Thank you very much, Lori. I will go bring that up with the dev team. Maybe I did a new window. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. I will get that solved. Thank you, Lori. That is great. Do you recommend using tracking software such as ClickMagick? Great question, Nicholas. We're going to get there. I do recommend tracking software, and we'll talk about that in a few weeks. A couple Microsoft account suspended questions. Again, it's so hard to troubleshoot because I don't know what you did, or maybe I'm not even saying what you did. It could be a small percentage of Microsoft just being stupid. Watch the video on account suspensions, though. I think that should help you. What's the difference between max bounty between main LP preview and sample LP? I'm not exactly sure there, Kim. That's a great question. Really, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the tracking link and where that goes. Do you collect their first name only or just first name and surname? I just put name and whatever they want to put in there, they can give me. I use it because as we move forward, we will have variables in SendPad. So you can say like, hey, brackets first underscore name. And then when that sends out, it'll actually pull the name from SendPad to say like, hey, Mike, hey, John. So it's more personable. But you know, if they put their first name, last name, or whatever they put in, it doesn't matter. Is it important to make our page appear similar to the offer, or is that not important? It's not super important. I find it does help a little bit. If your page is blue and orange and the offer is blue and orange, it makes it more congruent. So they think they're kind of through the same flow. Okay. So it does seem to convert a little bit better, but it's not 100% important. Some people that can't get in touch with their affiliate manager, what I would recommend you do, you know how you get your affiliate manager's attention? There's a lot of you guys that have come through the program. These guys are super busy. Start running traffic. You know, there shouldn't really be much that you need to ask your affiliate manager at this point in the game. You know, maybe there are questions that you're a little nervous about. Maybe I would suggest get past the nerves and just run, test, start sending some money through. And, you know, I know you don't want to spend $50 to make zero and make a mistake, but questions like, the offer says I can't run on, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, guys. There's no pay. We're all big boys here. We're all big girls. We're all big boys, right? Like, let's all be friends. Let me allow to be the teacher, you know, and let's not live in 2023 over offended society that we live in. And we're all entrepreneurs and we're all friends here, right? I'm just going to use the example that came up, and it's not at all picking on anybody. But if the offer says don't run on weekends, do we really need the affiliate manager to confirm that? I think it's pretty clear. You know what I mean? Don't run on the weekend. Okay. So my thought would be, yeah, I want you guys to build a relationship with your affiliate manager. I told you to do that. I know that. And sometimes affiliate managers are better than others, but the affiliate manager that has a million things to do and has other affiliates spending, you know, tens of thousands a day, and they're like, they're stressed out to the moon. And, you know, you might be asking them a question on like, hey, the offer says I can't run weekends. Is that really true? Like, put yourself in their shoes. Would you be first to jump at that question, or you would try to fulfill all these other questions first, right? Again, not trying to be rude, but if you want to get their attention, like, get things going, jump at it, take the bull by the horns, you know what I mean? And it's okay if you make a couple mistakes. Then when you have some money going in, I'm telling you, they'll pay a little bit more attention to you, okay? And again, I'm just saying that from experience, all right? Canva, oh, that's a good place to get images as well. Okay, let me just make sure. Can you guys still hear me? Can you type one in the chat? I just got my earbud and I don't know if people can still hear me. One, all right, thank you very much. Thank you. And like, look, I'm a Canadian guy. We're all nice, right? We have manners, we're polite. I'm blunt, and it's always from a good place of heart. Sometimes I might come across as blunt, or I might be like, hey, it's in the training. And that's just me trying to like get you guys going. It's like, please don't ever be offended. We're all, this is just the way I am, and I love you all, which is why I'm past the 30 minutes I commit here. What's what I'm doing Saturday. I'm here for you, to serve you. And sometimes maybe I'm a bit of a hard ass or something, and I can tone it down a bit. I've been told that. So I apologize if that comes across that way, but please just always recognize I'm coming from a good place. All right. I'm never here to put you down. I'm here to give you guys millions of dollars and a decade worth of experience. And, I'll just leave it at that. All right. So, I'm just trying to push you across the edge, Please clarify brand bidding. Yeah, it just means like if the offer is like survey locator and it says no brand bidding, you can't bid on the keyword survey locator in your ads. All right. Is there a way to put a live link in an image? It's coming. Right now, you can't have an image link out, but that should be coming soon. And I know some people, you didn't answer my question. I know, I'm sorry. I tried to answer at 61. I'm going through them all. I'm really, really sorry, guys. Okay, I'm still setting up my domain in SendPad, and it's still asking to verify SPF, which is not allowing me to continue with module 3 and setup. Make sure one of the things I'm noticing is V equals isn't there. Okay, so like, for example, in my screen, I had this off to these guys. They said it was fixed, and they told me to do this, that, and the other thing. It was driving me nuts, and it's still not fixed for me. So I'm sorry about that. Apologies. But you might see a verify SPF, and you see all this stuff. You see there's no V equals at the front. Okay, I'm just going to copy this. And you're just seeing this include, colon, whatever. You should all see this, right? What you need to do is just put a V equals in front of it. Make sure there's no space, just V equals. If you do that, that should fix it like instantly. If that still doesn't fix it, open a ticket. And I'm really sorry about that. I was told it was fixed. I brought it to their attention, the dev team, a bunch of times, and I'm really sorry about that. That's on us, okay? Will there be a feature added to SendPad to pre-pop fields? Yes, that's coming. Great question, Eric. For the kind of offers with limited times, can we just pause the ads, right? Yeah, there is an ad schedule in there in Microsoft, okay? You can literally go into the ad schedule. And then what you would do is you click the add button. You could select a campaign. Let's say I was doing this campaign. And then targeted days, look at this, Monday to Friday, between whatever and whatever, okay? And that's it. You can just set it right here. It is, it's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna stay for 5 more minutes. I'm losing my voice again. Glad my laryngitis is back. How long does it usually take to get a determination from Max Bounty when you apply for an offer? Like 40, 50 clicks, you should have a good idea of what's going on. There is in that 20, let's see here. I want to get the video right. Video 21, some minor do's and don'ts. Check that one out. Pexels and Pixabay. So I've heard of this, okay? Pexels, Pixabay, and Canva for images. Apparently they have a bunch of free images in there, okay? So check those out, guys. Thank you very much. Angelica, and I forget the other person that mentioned Canva, so shout out for that. A couple more people on the SPF. Hopefully what I just suggested fixes it. Can we use the banners listed on the creative tab of Max Bounty when creating our landing page? You certainly can. All right. Yep, lots of people when I was like, please don't be offended or giving me praise. Thank you guys. As you know, I try not to read out the praise, but I do see it and appreciate it. I know I try to toe the line too. Like I get it. I am not like, it's really hard to offend me. You can be like, you're bald and divorced and whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I am bald and divorced. Like I could probably lose a few more pounds. And like, you're right. I was a little loud there and I swear a bit too much. And like, I don't get offended, right? Like, it doesn't mean like, I don't want to get all political on things for myself. Like I have a master's degree in political science. I consider myself to be a centrist, a common sensist, if you will. I think the left and right divide, I think that is a distraction. I think the trans, anti-trans, gay, anti-gay, male versus female, I think this all distracts us from who we are as humans. And if we could all just like stop allowing the media, the politicians and all that crap to create these divisive lines, we'd be in a much better place. So, I come across as blunt sometimes. I am definitely never trying to offend anybody. I just, maybe this sounds hippy dippy and I'm really not a hippy dippy person, but I believe just live your best life. Don't be a dick, follow the rules, pay your taxes, and, help each other out as best we can. Recognize we're all humans going through different things, try to have some compassion and empathy. And if we live like that, we wouldn't care if there wasn't a gender neutral potato head or, whatever, right? We wouldn't give a crap about stuff like that. It wouldn't be an issue. So anyways, that's just me anyways. Words to live by. I mean, I should have I swear too much and then I swore anyways. Mobile is not fixed, Tammy. I'm so sorry. That's frustrating. Tammy, I hate to say it like this, but it's going to help me. So please help us help you. If you could please open up a ticket with that loom I see there, that would be excellent because I want those guys to get to the bottom of it. Okay. Thank you so much. Getting a lot of clap. One day I'll run for Prime Minister of Canada, guys, and we'll have a much more common sense world. I tell you what. Okay. Maybe a question from my affiliate manager. What MB tracking link do I use within an article or blog post? Great question. When in doubt, guys, this is a great question there, Neil. When in doubt, I usually will just, if I don't know, I'll just pick display or, actually didn't even tell you for blog, right? I mean, when in doubt, try to go with the best. I mean, obviously socials make sense. It goes on Facebook, right? And search is like, tells you. But like, what do you do with a blog? Display, don't overthink that. And then down here, I just try and grab the raw link. I don't try to grab any of this other stuff. And then this is all you will need, okay? So that's a great question. Just try to like use your best sense. It's not really gonna like punish you or hurt you, whichever one you pick, okay? Someone said it'd be way better than the current prime minister. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I always tell people in America, "Oh, I love your prime minister," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, why? Well, he's so good looking and nice." I'm like, "Is that what we're going for these days? It's like nice and good looking, but anyways. I made a website on Canva, which is way easier for me, but I can't connect it with SendPad. Please help me so I can start the ad campaign. Miriam, that is great. It's kind of hard for me to really say because I'm not sure Canva's code. I would imagine it would be something to do with the code you grab at a SendPad, and there should be some sort of like JavaScript or HTML or something. And I'm not entirely sure. It's very difficult because I'm not sure how Canva works. Again, I hate giving this answer, but if you could just open up a ticket, we might be able to help you on the back end there. So thank you so much for that. Take a couple more questions. Actually, the guide has the V equals in it. So K, you're still have K or Kai, probably Kai. You're because I knew somebody KAI that was Kai, and you're still having issues. That's frustrating. Can you please send that off to support? And I'm really sorry about that. I would sit there and say, look, my goal is to see the issues and fix them. I do know, I get the stats. And the other day there was domain connections with SendPad, and we only had like 24 that were having issues. And there could be more out there because some people just haven't opened up the tickets. But I don't want to make it seem like, because I don't want to come across as like the DNS isn't working and the mobile view and this and that. It does seem to be working for most people. The mobile view works. Most people, their domains are connected. Most people have ad accounts. So my job is to make sure everybody has it, right? I will not rest until you're all ready to go. But the good news is most people are out there. So if you're one of these on there and everything seems to be working fine for you, I just don't want you to get scared like, oh no, are things going to break? Everything is working fine. But, you know, sometimes you'd have these problems with ClickFunnels or GoDaddy or whatever out there. There's always weird scenarios that pop up. Great question, Neil. Do you always make money on the front end of your offers, or do your offers require the back end emails to make money? And we're going to talk about this. I actually have some niches that operate at like a 20% loss on the front end, meaning I will spend 5,000 a day to make 4,000, but I will take in thousands of emails, and I make so much money on the emails that $1,000 loss is replaced by making like $3,000 on the emails. Okay, so that's a great question, and I think that, I never really try to operate at worse than a 20% loss. I'm not saying you need to do that, but at scale, when you want to get more and more leads and you're making so much money on the email, it's okay to take a little bit of a loss. That's a really great question, and we will cover that over the weeks. I'm not saying operate at a loss. I'm saying that is a business model I use in my business, because for me, I make so much money on those leads on the back end that I'm okay with losing 20% on the front. What countries can we market our offers in? Whichever countries that Max Bounty and other networks you're on say. So it'll tell you somewhere on here, it should say countries. Oh, there you go. Countries allowed, United States. Okay, so in this one, you can only run in the US. Okay. All right. Whew, I'm out of breath. We will be back tomorrow. Exciting webinar tomorrow. Please register for it. Register for the webinar on Saturday. And Dewey, last question. I have personal questions about something that I'm not sure if you have answers for, and I don't want to post on the forum. Any sort of question like that, our support team is very good, anonymous. You're not gonna they're there to help. Okay, so write that in. But thanks for coming out, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of this office hours, and I will see you on the webinar tomorrow, 1 p.m. sharp. And I'm really looking forward to Saturday. We're gonna have a lot of fun. All right, take care, everyone. Bye now.